it is very clear the XRP ledger is decentralized. Today, Ripple runs 7 validators. That's about 4% of the public validators. By almost any measure now, the XRP ledger is more decentralized than the Bitcoin ledger or the Ether ledger, where you have a very small number of miners controlling, well past 50% of mining power.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another crypto video. There was just a little slight part for fun regarding XRP being decentralized. I get this question quite often, or this statement of people saying XRP is garbage, XRP is stupid for this or that or this reason. And one thing I gotta say is I personally think if you're not open to a lot of these different cryptos, you're playing the crypto game wrong. My personal thoughts. And I obviously understand some people's blames or their complaint. If you want to say, hey, you know what, a lot of these validators are sponsored by Ripple, I'm going to give you a big thumbs up saying, sure, you're right. If you're going to say, hey, this XRP cryptocurrency you talk about, well, a lot of it is owned by one company. I'm give you a big thumbs up. If you're going to say, hey, this XRP cryptocurrency works a lot with banks, it has a really institutional priority, I'm again going to give you a big thumbs up. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Every single point you can think of here doesn't make it a bad cryptocurrency. Or rather, it doesn't really make it a bad investment whatsoever, or bad utility piece. And the more you start to look into it, the more cryptos actually look like this, or the more you start to notice that indeed, what really makes one thing good? For example, Ethereum had a pre-sale, makes it officially a security. Does that make it bad? No, I don't think so. And Bitcoin, you could say, for example, had it before. Right now still, but okay, let's say before, had a crazy amount of power in one location. 4 or 5 parties had more than 50% of the control over in China. Is that good? Debatable. Yet that doesn't make the entire crypto bad. It's just a fun thing that I've been noticing when reading through all these comments. A lot of people are screaming that something is bad, albeit that they don't really know exactly why. They just start to scream, and why am I doing this? Because I found that I could do it. And I'm pressing a little button to make my screen go like that. Anyway, there's actually a couple of different videos that I've had. This one came from Wheezy. There's actually a couple of different videos and a couple of different pieces I want to cover. John Deaton said, when I filed the motion to intervene in the SEC v. Ripple on behalf of XRP holders, I used Spend the Bits as a great example of why the judge must allow us to be heard in the case. Jay Spend the Bits, without any help or dollars from Ripple, developed a payment app utilizing the XRP ledger. It's now been announced yesterday. A new payment app taps the XRP ledger for cheap and fast Bitcoin transactions. So, well, apparently it's not available everywhere just quite yet because of regulations, it says. And I as well wonder, and this is actually one thing that's kind of bothering me. Many people have blocked me because of the giveaway, but what do you guys think? Is it a good idea to continue on with them? Many people have their critical sides, critical pieces, but most of them are actually pretty garbage. For example, all these accounts are bots. I invite you, send them a message. Or just do your little bit of research and check that look. Doesn't really matter. Point being, and this is actually a little bit of an insider then, when I was doing my last giveaway, actually one of the winners was somebody that blocked me. So he couldn't win anymore because obviously he doesn't follow me anymore. But that's ironical that he said, oh, your giveaway must be fake, block. And then I'm like, well, there we go. And that's before that the date is there that is going to be announced who the winner is. That I also don't understand. Like, what? I'm saying we're going to give something away next week. And then 6 days in, he's like, well, you didn't give it away, so I'm going to block you. Like, what? It's tomorrow. But yeah, that's what I've started to notice more and more and more on my main Twitter account here. It's a lot. Doesn't matter for the idea though. I mean, I'm not sure why I'm shouting out about this. I just wanted to talk about this specific feature. It's pretty cool. XRP can now be burned via Bitcoin payment app on the XP Ledger, and here is how. Describing its own project in brief, Spend the Bit states that the use of exactly the XRP Ledger blockchain allows Bitcoin transactions to be much faster and cheaper than it is possible now. At the same time, why I'm not saying safe, okay. John Deaton, a pro-XRP activist and crypto law founder, highlighted another positive side of the project, while it showcases that non-Ripple funded ventures also succeed for the XRP Ledger and are a continuous thing. That's the beauty of the underlying tech. The XRP Ledger is an open, permissionless DLT, distributed ledger technology. Emphasis on open and permissionless. John Deaton says Jay Campbell didn't ask for permission, he just started building. And that's actually one of the fun pieces as to why it's pretty hard for Ripple to really lose this at the end of the day. It's kind of the same argument that can be said for Ether. One of the main core arguments from the SEC is that literally every single one of us is handling security transactions. It's kind of crazy if you think about it. But more importantly, that Ripple is the main producer of price increase chances for XRP, I'd say. And from a certain perspective, they're right. They're the foundation, so they have the most amount of money to fund for projects that have to do with the XP ledger, which I think is quite logical. Almost any foundation of a crypto project is the one that has to incentivize it to a certain degree. Albeit then again known that there's a lot of other parties which are not funded or which are only funded after a certain amount of time. And I think that's not being put under enough emphasis, or they're not putting enough emphasis on that. The fact that a lot of these projects are out there building something. Ripple's like, hey, let us help you out on this one. We'll send you some money. It's an idea of like, well, how can you make things best the quickest? Well, with more money. And if they have a lot of it and they're market participants as well. Just heard one very big explosion, maybe fireworks, or maybe a building collapse or something. That was crazy. After doing a little bit of investigating, could not find out exactly what it was. All right, but taking a look at this again, because I kind of stayed away from the topic. The most important feature of the project is definitely the use of the XRP in these transactions, or rather the burning process. So in addition to the fact that XRP is used to activate an account, it needs to have a little bit of XRP in there. It'll be burned with every Bitcoin transaction through the XRP Ledger blockchain. It is also worth clarifying that when making Bitcoin transactions through the Spend the Bits app, the user sends a synthetic IOU version of the crypto, like XBTC from Coinbase or SBTC from 21 Shares Fund. So it's just through IOUs, Bitcoin transactions are possible over the XRP Ledger. We knew about this before though, right? This is also how multiple different currencies could work on the XP Ledger in a really extremely reliable, easy, fast manner. We also talked about this when we were discussing all the freezing options, because through IOUs, these can be done so ridiculously quickly because you're not actually sending something. It's just saying, there's basically a message that being sent saying, hey, I owe you this much, and then you have to settle it another time, potentially. Going over to the opposite side, the US SEC to set up offices for crypto filings, apparently. All right, so the US SEC, or at least, let's say SEC for now, will set up 2 new offices to deal with filings related to crypto assets and the life sciences sector, Reuters reported. According to Reuters, the Office of Crypto Assets and the Office of Industrial Applications and Services will join 7 other existing offices under the SEC department, meaning officially now that the SEC wants to grab crypto under their belt, not a question anymore about it, which handles corporate disclosure findings. The SEC posted a press release titled SEC Division of Corporation Finance to add industry offices focused on crypto assets and industrial applications and services, from press release posted September 9th. So am I afraid of this? No, because it was bad from the get-go. They're trying to expand on that, but it's nothing more than usual. We already expected something like this nature to happen. However, I'm a little bit skeptical in the sense that I think right now the SEC dug themselves an even bigger hole, because I don't think there's going to be any observer looking at this and thinking, no, the SEC indeed is taking a slow approach towards crypto. They're just trying to regulate it to the best of their ability. They're not trying to grab all the power over it, potentially together with the CFTC or so. No. This is really a SEC is grabbing every single crypto thing that they can, period. There's no question about it. SEC to set up specialized unit for crypto issuer filing. The US SEC would create a dedicated unit focused on crypto issuers filing. And the regulator cited the growth of the industry as to why the decision was necessary, which again sounds very nice, even though we know the idea behind it is a lot darker, most likely. And SEC chair, he reiterated his commitment towards the regulation of crypto space, which again is not really a good thing. It's pretty dark. We've covered that a dozen times by now. But hey, not too happy with that. And again, we can always look back at the whole Ethereum situation. Look at all these trending hashtags here. Obviously, these are trends for me. Hashtag ETH merge, hashtag Gary Gensler resign, hashtag crypto. Hinman, a couple of Netherlands ones. So the whole SEC debacle, I'm not so sure what else to tell you. I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of it. What I am a fan of, guys, is the fact that indeed this is another very, very big plus in the Ripple v SEC lawsuit, even though it's been ongoing for a longer while. These processes, these steps, the progress that's being made is another very, very big plus in the Ripple v SEC lawsuit, purely from the perspective of, well, indeed, the SEC can't say that nobody else is working on it. John Dean had a little bit more to say about the amicus brief, for example. Spend the Bits will also be referenced in our brief. According to Jay Combo, Brad Gullinghouse, Chris Larson, and Joe Katz were completely unaware of who he was or his idea to develop a payment app that allows you to spend Bitcoin just as Satoshi Nakamoto envisioned. That's the beauty of the underlying technology. The XRP ledger is an open, permissionless distributed ledger technology, emphasis on open and permissionless. J Combo didn't ask for permission, he just started building. Jay looked at the Lightning Network and compared it to the XRP ledger and decided the XRP ledger could be used as a better layer 2 solution due to the Bitcoin scaling, energy, and speed issues. Why is Spend the Bits example so important in the case? Because it doesn't matter if Jay Campbell is correct or dead wrong about Spend the Bits being a better solution. Technologically speaking, it is immaterial whether Spend the Bits is a great innovation or ultimately a waste of time. Personally, I'm not technically savvy enough to know. But legally speaking, it is absolutely one of the best examples to highlight the absolute absurdity regarding the SEC's claims. The SEC and Gary Gensler have conceded that Bitcoin is a commodity. Spend the Bits allows you to spend your Bitcoin utilizing the XRP ledger. And what that means is when you spend 100,000, 1,000, a million of your Bitcoin using Spend the Bits app, it costs a significantly lower amount in XRP. Thus, according to the SEC's argument, the $100, $1,000, or $1 million in Bitcoin is not the security, but the 0.00005 XRP is. And that's actually a really interesting thing if you start thinking about it. If you're transferring value over the XRP ledger and the cost is this significantly low of an XRP, how exactly does that work in terms of securities offerings, right? Let's say, for example, that NFTs actually come onto there. Are then all the NFTs the securities, or is it the fee that's being sent in, or is it or how? Because again, you got to think about it. Right now, they're alleging that XRP is, but everything on top of the XRP ledger is not. So what in theory, right, if we're handling Bitcoin transactions over on the XRP ledger, the Bitcoin then is fine, but the XRP itself, the underlying thing, which is in that literal sense impossible to be the investment contract then, right? Because nobody is then utilizing that XRP for investment purposes. They're utilizing that XRP as like a payment fee, basically. Where would then the security issue lie? It's a good question. According to the SEC, that 0.0005 XRP is an investment contract with Ripple. Even if Spend the Bits customers in El Salvador or Canada have never even heard of Ripple or anyone else associated with those guys. According to the SEC's argument, Spend the Bits customers living in UK or wherever using the app to spend their Bitcoin is using an unregistered security, even though their country says otherwise, because in these countries XRP is fine. The SEC claims that the XRP is being legally used in Japan, for example, is an investment contract with Ripple. They make that argument even though Ripple and its executives had nothing to do with Jay Campbell or Spend the Bits, and the users in Japan are completely unaware of that Ripple potentially even exists. The SEC is arguing that the underlying Bitcoin being moved or spent on Spend the Bits app isn't a security, but the utility token XRP that is being utilized to transfer or spend that Bitcoin is. It's insane. And that's why I wrote, the SEC complained against Ripple and XRP, declaring that XRP was and always has been and continues to be a security, is likely the most far-fetched, reaching, outrageous, and absurd claim the SEC has ever alleged. Prayers to Jay and Spend the Bits for providing a great example. Yeah, I'm also a pretty big fan of this. I don't think it's a bad thing whatsoever. Here we go again with another one, huh? But in all seriousness, I have a couple of other videos I want to showcase to you guys, but I'm thinking, you know what? Let's spend it for a different episode because today we got a couple of good subjects out there. I think this is another very bullish case, right, for the Ripple, or another bullish part for the Ripple SEC case. Is it going to pump the price? No. Is this good for your own head to just see how absurd it is? I'd say so. At the end of the day, guys, this week is going to be extremely important for the law, so we have a couple of different updates coming up. The 13th, I believe, is the start of everything. 19th, we get a bigger review of everything. So stay prepared because the next couple of days are about to be big. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video later today or tomorrow. We'll see.